Hello again, this is Rob Wagoner from MyCloudIT, and I wanted to take a few minutes today to continue to drill into the capabilities MyCloudIT is going to give you in your remote desktop solutions. So last time we created this deployment named MCIT Public. So we first go to the details pane. How many virtual machines do we have running in this deployment? How many users? We currently only have one user, Office 365. So we automate the connection to Office 365. Scheduling, backups, monitorings, and the domains, other areas that we're going to touch on in future videos. Down here we have things like SPLA, Service Provider Licensing Agreement. Now, if you also have an RDS CAL with software assurance, you're properly licensed. If you're a service provider and you have your own SPLA offering, you can bring your own SPLA, but if you don't and you need appropriate licensing, we can help you there. We list the deployment domains. This is the domain in Active Directory. And then web access. This URL you can share with your users and they can log in with their domain credentials. So what I want to do is click right here on Web Access RDP. Enter my credentials and then I can sign in. Maybe you want your users to come to this landing page, or maybe you just want to send them straight to this desktop, or a specific desktop to the accounting team because they have specific applications. Let's say we want to grab one of these connections and send it right to an end user. When we click on it, we can say Save File. I can drag and drop this right to my desktop. Now I've got this remote desktop connection that points right into my deployment. By default, your remote desktop connection takes all of your screens. I have multiple monitors, and so when I connect, both monitors bring up my desktop. What I want is my remote desktop on just one single screen, so I can make that change right there, and then even save this and send it off that way if I want, or go ahead and hit connect. It's going to ask me for credentials again, and then it'll log me into my remote desktop. So here I'm logged into my remote desktop. This is a Server 2016 image with the user interface installed to give the users that Windows 10 experience. I'll go ahead and close this and we'll go back to the portal. So when we move from our details page, we can now go in and look at the actual virtual machines that are running in this deployment. I'm going to resize this session host 1 to a D1 V2. I click Edit on it. So this now gives you a list of the virtual machines in that region that you can resize to. If you had chosen premium storage when you created your deployment, you would have premium storage virtual machine offerings here. Since we didn't choose premium storage, all of these are the standard storage option virtual machines. We're going to resize to a D1 V2, so I can click on that here. What we're going to do in the back end is resize this virtual machine for you. Azure is actually going to shut down that virtual machine, move it to another host maybe, and then restart that virtual machine. So a resize could take anywhere from a few minutes to maybe 20 minutes as it's deployed to another host across the Azure infrastructure. Let's move to users and groups. Right now we only have one user. When we connect to Office 365 in another video, we'll actually be able to pull users in from Office 365. But for now, I can go ahead and add myself. So I filled in the user information here, select the desktop collection. If I had a remote app collection, I could select that here as well. Easily, I could add new users and drop them right into desktop collections. I can also define group settings for this new user. What group should they be a member of? Move back over here. I could also make this user an administrator. Okay, and now we flip back to this screen and we can see our new user added. When I have a lot of users and I want to add them to a desktop collection, there's a pretty easy way to do that. If I switch to Groups view, this desktop collection group allows users to connect to this desktop collection we created. I can now go into Group Settings and it shows available users I can add in there and add all the users this way as well. So two ways we can do it: per user or grab a whole group of users. We have this refresh button scattered throughout our UI. Click on this refresh button to make sure that group gets updated before we come here again. I also want to show you desktop collections. So here's the desktop collection we'd created, and it gives us details, the name of the desktop collection group. We saw that in the users and groups area, right? Host servers. What servers are dedicated to this desktop collection? Do I want to add new servers? So I could easily here go in and add new servers, and it asks us for the UI, the number of users we're going to add, and then advanced options like, do you want to size that server? So I'm going to click back here. I could create a new desktop collection for, say, accounting or development. I could again pick their user experience, number of users. I'm going to give them more storage because of the work they're doing, and even here make these advanced option changes. These are just some of the capabilities I wanted to share with you today. I'll be back to show you more, but until then, this is Rob Wagner with MyCloudIT, and I wish you well. Goodbye.